So I may actually get severely roasted for this opinion, but yes, the dragon mount should be permanent for everyone to use, but with a few stipulations, and the dragon mount is by far from being perfect. Okay, so let's jump in, let's talk about it. All right, so they actually did it. They actually released the dragon mount, and honestly, I'm having a lot of fun with it. Even though it is kind of clunky, but I really can't complain too much. I really thought when they delayed it originally, it was going to end up just getting scrapped altogether because of some technical issues or some other PA typical excuse, but they released it. So props to them. It's pretty cool, man. Like, if you told me a year ago that everyone was going to have a chance to fly a dragon mount in BDO, I probably thought you were crazy, to be honest with you. But now I think I'm more surprised to see the community's reaction to the dragon mount. Like, it seems that people actually hate the dragon, especially on Reddit, which I guess it is Reddit, which tends to be more negative anyway. But I want to just read a few of those comments and then just kind of give my opinion on why I like the dragon mount and why it should be permanent. But I would love to hear your thoughts down below. And of course, right, this is all opinion based, right? So most likely you may not agree with my opinion. So let me know down in the comments once you watch the full video. All right, so first comment here. I didn't expect much, but this might be the worst iteration of a flying mount in a MMO. It's clunky. You have no freedom vertically and have to ascend and descend to present levels, and you can't land while on the mount. WoW flying mounts 20 years ago were better. Forget the dragon flight. They need to get rid of the ascend and descend buttons and let you move up and down naturally through the air. Actually, I do agree with this statement. With the ascending and descending, it is very odd that they did place that into the game. I don't know why you have to press two different buttons either to go up or go down. I think it would be better if they would just make the movement based on where your camera's at, right? Either you point your mouse kind of up or down, like that's the direction you're going to go in. I don't know if it's like some type of limitation where like they don't want you to try to exploit something. I'm not really sure, but I think that's probably the biggest complaint that I think I have with the system, and maybe a lot of other people have, is just the ascending and descending aspect, where it just doesn't give you the freedom of your camera to allow you to either go up or down. So I definitely agree with this person's statement with the ascending and descending. But even regardless of that, I still like it. Like, yeah, I might be a little clunky with that aspect, but it's still really cool. I mean, come on, it's a freaking dragon. Like, bro, it's a dragon, man. Like, I don't know. I'm a sucker for dragons. So either way, even if it is clunky, like, I still like it. All right, so here's another comment. Honestly, I hate it. It feels slow, clunky, and I have to press E and Q to go up and down. WTF. I don't know if it's because I played World of Warcraft in the past, but this flying mount doesn't even come close to the WoW mounts, both the old style flying mounts and the new flying dragon mounts. Honestly, this just feels like another half-baked mechanic implemented PA style. So yeah, I mean, I think again, it's just going back to kind of the clunkiness, especially with the E and the Q, which I definitely can understand that, and hopefully it will get better as time goes on. All right, so I just wanted to share just a few of those comments to kind of give you a perspective of what it seems like a good portion of the community is having with the dragon mount. So first, for me, I had zero expectations with this mount, right? Which is probably why my opinion is the way it is. And maybe I'm in the minority, and maybe this is a hot take or an unpopular opinion, but I like the dragon mount, and I think it should be permanent for everyone to have the opportunity to get, but I don't think we should get it for free, which I'll speak on here in a minute or so. And Sure, it's not as smooth as other flying mounts and other MMOs, but hopefully that will get better. Also, I don't like how how they originally stated on how they wanted to implement this into the game, because they originally stated that only the top guild, top PvP guild can get it, right? And then only the guild leader can use it. So like literally 0.1% of the population will ever be able to use this, which I think is just stupid and just a waste of resources. If that's how the developers actually want to implement this into the game, it just will be dead on arrival, right? And will make no money for PA, because this won't motivate players to either come back to the game or even start the game. However, I think if they release the normal dragon mount for everyone to get, and then just keep the PvP dragon mount exclusively for the top guild, then I think that would probably be a better move for PA in order to like make money and to incentivize people to play. Because who doesn't want a freaking dragon, right? A flying dragon mount in a game. And in, in terms of like incentivizing people to play, I think this could get kind of interesting on how they could approach that aspect. Now, I don't want it to be free for everyone, right? I think maybe a decent way to implement this into the game would be like a cool treasure item to grind for, right? Maybe in the new region, which again, I think would be more lucrative for PA, because that could bring players back to the game or get new players interested in the game and just have a goal to kind of strive for. For me personally, I've never really been one to grind for a treasure item. Actually, the only treasure item that I've ever grinded for was the infinite HP potion, which after getting that thing, I was like, nope, never grinding again for a treasure item. And I actually ended up buying the infinite mana potion off the central market. But if they would add the dragon mount as a treasure item, I think I would definitely be more interested or more inclined to grind for that. Now, I could see like an argument that it shouldn't be a treasure item because it can be pretty OP and, everyone should have access to it, kind of like the mana and HP potions where you can just buy it off the central market. So I can see that argument. But in my opinion, I think it should be rare and it can only be obtained as like a treasure item. Also, I feel like this mount can't be too overpowered with its speed. And I think how they have it now is somewhat okay. Because, if it's too overpowered, then no one will ever use the horse mounts. So I feel like there has to be some limitations with the flying mount. So I'm not sure how, they could balance around that, but I still think you need the horses to be kind of the primary mount in a way, and to somehow be the fastest option from going, say, from one part of the map to another. But in general, this could open the door to other flying mounts, like bird mounts, like the one that's in Velia that carries that large container where you can go from one part of the land to the other part of the land crossing the ocean, right? I think the possibilities can be endless. But again, it has to be balanced appropriately around horse mounts, because you don't want the horse mounts to be completely irrelevant. Now, when we compare this with the mount systems and WoW or Guild Wars 2, there's definitely a clear difference, right? Like the flying mounts in those MMOs definitely feel much smoother, more responsive, but let's be real, they are completely different games, especially when you compare it to BDO, right? This BDO has always been a MMO that's just different. It doesn't really go that traditional route. So I just feel like you have to kind of keep that in mind. But I do think if they can fix the E and the Q button, like ascending and descending, and just make it like free movement just based on your camera, I think that will help tremendously. So with the initial release of the Dragon Mount, I personally really like it. Sure, the movement can be improved on, but again, I think if you compare it to other MMOs, then yeah, it's not going to be as good. It's not going to feel as good. Hopefully with them giving us this 14-day trial with the dragon. They are actually thinking about potentially implementing some type of flying mounts in some way into the game at some point. For everyone to have the opportunity to obtain, which I think a treasure item would potentially be a good option because it's kind of a rare way of getting it that can allow people to grind for it if they wanted to. But I would love to hear your thoughts on the dragon mount. Do you like it? Do you hate it? And why? But as always, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.
Sunsets on black desert sky. It's just you and I.